So welcome to another video. Today I'm going to talk about my experience going to AEW Full Gear at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. So yeah, let's get started. So first, the Full Gear tailgate brawl. So the first match was Anthony Bowens and Max Caster versus the Outrunners versus the Bang Bang Gang and versus Big Bill and Brian Keefe. So to be honest with you guys, I missed most of this match. It took a while to get into the arena, and I went to go get food right before, because I didn't want to leave my seat, during the actual main card. So honestly, I didn't really watch this match. I only watched the very end. So the Bang Gang or the Bang Bang Gang won. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna skip over that match because I didn't really watch. I just watched the very end. But the next match I did watch, which was Big Boom AJ and QT Marshall versus Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta, also known as RPG Vice. So honestly, I didn't know what to expect with this match because I knew that Big Boom AJ and QT were gonna win. I mean, especially with this match being in New Jersey, and Big Boom AJ, I believe, is born or was born in New Jersey, so I expected them to win. I didn't expect much, to be honest, because with celebrity matches, they're usually just pretty basic. But with AJ being a former professional wrestler, there is a little more to it. It's not just like another regular celebrity appearance. Even though he is a little older, the match did go for a while, and really the big moment was when Trent Beretta pushed down Big Justice, and Big Show punched Trent, and then while Trent was stunned, he got hit with a cutter by Big Justice, and that led to the finish by AJ and QT. So they ended up picking up the victory. Next was Hook and Eddie Kingston versus the Workhorsemen, JD Drake and Anthony Henry. So this match was really quick. It just looked like they ran short on time. So the tailgate brawl was only 1 hour, so it started at 7 p.m. Eastern. So it was going to be 7 to 8, and they had four matches booked. And I think this match only took like 3-4 minutes. There was honestly really know why they had this match, and why they had four matches. Really, I think the sweet spot for this would have been three, especially with the next match that they had. The Sky Team, Místico, Neon, and Máscara Dorada versus Okada, Takeshita, and Hechicero, the Don Callis, or representing the Don Callis family. Yeah, so this match was a little rushed too, because they wanted to move on to they had to move on to the main card, because that was going to start at 8 p.m. And I think when this match started, I think it was like 7:50, somewhere around there. But yeah, the match started off 3 versus 2, so Okada wasn't in the match at the very beginning, and then I think only like a couple minutes in, Místico picked up a shoulder injury, which not an actual injury, you know what I mean, a kayfabe injury, and during the match, so it was 2-on-2 for a few minutes. After a while, Okada pulled up in a car, and it was kind of weird because he was doing his full entrance while the match was going on, so he was just waiting for like a minute at the top of the ramp, waiting for the cue, for him to come down. But yeah, that was kind of funny to watch live. But yeah, so he, once he got into the match, the Don Callis family started rolling. They were putting a beating on the Sky Team. But then after a while, Místico came out, So it was 3-on-3 once again, and there was a lot of miscommunication between Takeshita and Okada. They really seem to be pushing the angle that um, one of them is going to leave the Don Callis family, and one of them is just going to completely turn on each other. They've been teasing that for a while, but they haven't really turned against each other completely. They've just kind of been, Okada flipping off Takeshita, or like, screwing up whenever they've tagged before, on purpose. But yeah, this match was fine. The Sky team did some of their high flying moves. I'll put it, I'll have like clips and pictures throughout this video of like the different matches that were going on. But yeah, the one thing I would say would be that I wish that Echiseto would have more participation during this match. I'm a really big fan of him, and yeah, it kind of sucked to not see him, really participate as much, especially with Okada not being there for the first part of the match. And yeah, I really like watching Echiseto's different submissions. That's really not something that you see here with in WWE. There's not really someone that attempts to do that type of stuff. So yeah, I'm a bit sad, not sad, but you know what I mean. I think we missed out a little bit on that, and the Sky team ended up picking up the victory after Takeshita and Okada had another miscommunication, and it led to Echiseto getting pinned. But yeah, so they fell to I think it was for the CMLL Trios Championships. So like, they failed to get the victory in that, and at the end, Takeshita and Okada were, well, Okada was on the ground, and he was trying to apologize to Takeshita, I think, and Takeshita wasn't really having any of that. But yeah, so moving on to the main card. So the first match was Pac versus Darby Allin, and man, so anytime that Darby Allin has a match, if you haven't seen him, it's insane watching him live. It's kind of crazy. It'll be interesting to see how his style transforms, as he ages, just because he's taken so many crazy bumps already. I think he's only like 30, 31, and he's kind of like a Jeff Hardy-esque type of guy. Not maybe so as like the high flyer stuff, but like he definitely does some dangerous things in the ring. And yeah, I mean, this match, didn't disappoint. He did this thing where he did like a drop kick off the top rope while Pac was sitting ringside in a chair, and Darby landed on his back pretty hard. He everything he does is like really really hard. Like does like tope suicida. It looks like he's it looks like he got launched by a freaking cannon. Like it's he does everything 100%, and yeah, like every match involving the Death Riders or a member of the Death Riders, they always get involved. So towards the end of the match, they got involved, and Pac was able to, or while the ref was distracted, Pac he got a baseball bat and hit Darby, and then picked up the victory. And then Pac too, he's insane. Like he's I think like 40 now, but he's still insanely athletic. He's huge too. I don't know what type of vitamins he's taking, but he looks huge. But anyways, that was a really good match. I enjoyed it. Next was the 4-way tag match. So it was the remaining tag teams in the women's tag team championship tournament. So it was the Timeless Love Bombs, which is Tony Storm and Mina. And then versus the Sisters of Sin, which is Sky Blue and Julia Hart, versus Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir, and the Babes of Wrath. So it was Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale. So the winner of this match would pick the stipulation for the semifinal match. So also, I'm recording this after the this week's Dynamite and Collision. So the stipulation actually ended up being a hardcore holiday death match, which was chosen by Tony Storm and Mina. So they ended up picking up the victory in this match. This match was okay. It wasn't great, but you know, I felt like they wanted to make it seem believable that any of the teams could have won, even though I feel like most people already knew that it was either going to be Tony and Mina or Megan Bayne and Marina. But I was like 80-20 personally. I thought that Tony and Mina were going to win for sure, but yeah, so they ended up picking up the victory. Everyone got their stuff in. I would say the main thing of this match that that I got out of this match was that Julia Hart really seems to, I don't know if she's injured or what, but she kind of seems like she lost a step. She's doesn't look very quick. She's kind of messing up, in the ring. I think I forgot if it was the most recent Collision or Dynamite where she had like a botch that kind of went viral a little bit off the top rope. But yeah, so it was fine. It was nothing spectacular. I expected a little more, to be honest. And Megan kind of dominated the match for a little bit. They looked like the most dominant team, but which was FTR with Stokely versus Brodito for the AEW Tag Team Championships. So this match was really good. I had high expectations, going into the match. It definitely didn't disappoint me. Brodito, even though they lost, I'm hoping that they stay a tag team for a while. I think they're entertaining. They have good chemistry, and Bandito's personally one of my favorites. So yeah, anytime I get to see him, it's great. But there was some moments where it got kind of crazy. There was, I think, Brody did a dive through the ropes, and I forgot who of FTR he was trying to hit, but he missed and he got Stokely. And Stokely was on the ground for a little bit, and obviously he's trying to sell the move, but Brody's a huge guy, and I'm sure his body is sore and will be sore for the next week after that. He got hit pretty hard. I would say overall the FTR versus Brodito match was pretty insane. It was just back and forth. There was a lot of false finishes where I really thought it was gonna be 1, 2, 3 for either team really, but maybe it was my own personal bias that made me think that Brodito had this one in the bag. But honestly, I am a little surprised that FTR got the victory. With how things played out previously, with Christian and Copeland, it's starting to make me think that they're setting up for them to be the next tag team champions and get the victory over FTR at one of the next couple pay-per-views. I don't know when Copeland is supposed to be back, but whenever he comes back, I'm sure they're gonna reunite him and Christian and go after the tag team titles. But yeah, this match was definitely one of the best of the night, and I think they've faced each other before once, and I'm hoping for a trilogy sometime in the future. I know Brodito has a pretty tight schedule with all the stuff that he has going on in Ring of Honor, CMLL. I think he's in the Continental Classic too. But I mean, yeah, I mean, hopefully they get a rematch sometime in the future. So after that was the Full Gear Casino Gauntlet match. So yeah, the first two entrants were Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. Number 3 was Ricochet, and Ricochet was getting beat up for a little bit, but he had his members of the Demand attack Bobby, Shelton, and MVP, and to help even the odds. Um, and yeah, so this match, it was good. The only thing I would say was that I was kind of disappointed that there wasn't really any surprise entrance. I was hoping for maybe MJF, maybe Swerve, or maybe I don't know, Jay White. Jay White was one that was being mentioned a lot. I know he had tweeted before that something like teasing his comeback, but yeah, that was kind of disappointing. And I was kind of shocked that actually that Ricochet won, but actually a lot of people called it on social media. Personally, I thought maybe Shelton or Bobby, or there was a couple others that I thought were gonna win, but yeah, I mean Ricochet is great. He's still a phenomenal wrestler. He's improved a lot on the mic. Yeah, his charisma, I think, has improved a lot. Maybe he always had that, but he never, I don't know, showed it in WWE. But who knows? Maybe just with the additional mic time, not mic time over the last couple of years with AEW, he's just feels a lot more confident, and yeah, his promos are very good. Well, yeah, I would say they're good, and he plays the sort of comedic heel very well now. So kudos to him. But yeah, so moving on, the next match was Kyle O'Reilly versus Jon Moxley in a no holds barred match. So this match, yeah, this match was very bloody. No, definitely no high flying moves here, which I was fine with. Even though I like those type of matches, I like these matches too. The use of a screwdriver, man, that was I cringed a lot, especially when John had Kyle pinned down and he was hitting him with the screwdriver. There was so much blood all over the ring. It was kind of insane. It's definitely one of the bloodiest matches that I've seen. But I enjoyed the match. Of course, I was actually expecting John to win, just because Kyle had the victory over John recently at the Blood and Guts event that they had, and I just didn't think that he would beat him twice in a row. So this makes me think that they're gonna, the Death Riders are gonna kick out John pretty soon. I know that Claudio Castagnoli, he recently won a title in Mexico, and with him, getting that title, I think he's gonna be the new leader of the Death Riders. I think they're gonna kick out John, for having these, setbacks recently. But yeah, I think it's really good that John is willing to put over Kyle. Kyle O'Reilly is I think is a really good wrestler. Not the most charismatic, to be honest with you, but in the ring I think he's really really good. And it'll be interesting to see where he goes from here. I know I think with the conglomeration or something like that, and but yeah, I don't know if they're gonna position him for a title shot, for one of the men's titles, but hopefully, because the win over Jon Moxley does mean a lot, still. So yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with that. I'm interested to see what happens with the Death Riders. If they're going to keep going with John as the leader or if they're going to kick him out. After this match, it was Mark Briscoe versus Kyle Fletcher for the TNT Championship. So this one, man, this was the match of the night, and honestly, might be the best match that I've seen, at least live in person this year. Maybe ever, honestly. I need to think about it, but it was just, I honestly, going in, I thought Kyle Fletcher was gonna win, and a little part of me wanted to see him win just because it would have been interesting to see, how Mark Briscoe would be in the Don Callis family. It's not like they need more members, they already have like a billion members, but it would be interesting to see if, they would turn Mark Briscoe heel or if he would still be a face, but he would kind of like stir up drama with the Don Callis family. So that would have been interesting to see, but, I'm glad they had Mark Briscoe pick up the victory. The match was insane, very bloody. They used ladders, thumbtacks, tables with barbed wire, screwdrivers. I'm sure I'm missing some other stuff, but yeah, they used everything, every weapon that you can think of, pretty much. They were using it, and yeah, they were going hard. Um, Man, seeing Mark win a singles title was insane. I know he was one of the best tag team wrestlers with his brother. His brother, unfortunately, passed away. But I actually did get to meet him one time. When was it? It was in AEW. They did a show in Oceanside. And man, he's awesome. If you've ever met him in person, he's the best. He's very receptive to questions, glad to take pictures with the fans. So as a fan, it was great to see him pick up the victory. Yeah, just an insane match. If you haven't watched it, definitely watch it. I'm as soon as it's on HBO Max, as soon as I have time to go watch it or rewatch it, I'm definitely gonna go watch it again. But yeah. So after that was the trios match for $1 million. So it was the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander versus Kenny Omega and the Jurassic Express. So Jack Perry and Luchasaurus. So this match was good. It was not the best of the night, but one thing that I've noticed with Kenny, I love Kenny. He's actually one of the people that got me back into wrestling a couple years back. When he was the best bout machine. He had titles from all over, a bunch of different companies, AAA, TNA, AEW, of course. But man, it hurts to see, but it does feel like he's lost a step. He has slowed down quite a bit. Also, whenever he does like any high risk movements, it just, I'm like holding my breath a little bit, hoping he doesn't get hurt because he's had a lot of injuries recently. He's battled with illnesses too. I think diverticulitis somewhat recently. And actually, at one point during the match, he did a dive, and it looked like he landed fine, but he was shaking out his leg. It looked a little like maybe he hurt his ankle or his foot, but yeah, he was wincing throughout the match. So I'm hoping he's not that hurt, if at all. But yeah, I'm just hoping that whatever time he has left, he does it illness free and injury free, because he still, even though he has lost a step in my opinion, he can still put on great matches. This was a very good match, and yeah, so the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander picked up the victory. After the match, the Young Bucks collected their money, and they were walking with Don Callis up the ramp towards the back, and the Don Callis family started, attacking Kenny after the match and the Jurassic Express. But once the Young Bucks saw that, they came back into the ring, helped out, and basically saved Kenny and Jurassic Express. So yeah, it looks, they hugged it out afterwards. So it does look like, the Elite are back together. I'm interested to see if they're going to involve, Jack Perry and Luchasaurus, and kind of create a new version of the Elite. But yeah, it was good to see, they kind of followed it up on this week's, I think it was Collision or Dynamite, where Kenny was in his locker room speaking with the Bucks. But yeah, we'll see where they go from here. So after that was Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander, and yeah, this match was not bad. So I was a bit surprised that they had Mercedes Moné lose twice in a row in a World Championship match. They had her lose versus Toni Storm back in I think it was All in Texas, and at that time I wasn't that shocked that Toni picked up the victory. At the time, Toni was on fire. She still is. She's not just for her in-ring work, but her character work as well. But with Chris Statlander, I was a little surprised because Mercedes, I think she has like 13 belts now. So I thought they were going to go, all right, let's do 14 belts, let's go crazy. So I was kind of surprised that they didn't do that. And, most people I think were happy that Statlander won just because, her reign just started. Yeah, I think a lot of people are interested to see what she does. Does she take it to the next level? Because in the ring she's great, but as far as like promo character work, she's not the best. So I think they're hoping she gets some of that confidence from being a champion and takes it to the next level. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with Mercedes if she keeps on losing. She has 13 titles, so it's gonna take a while for her to lose all those belts. If she does. But yeah, as far as AEW goes, it'll be interesting to see, what she does with the TBS title, if they're going to have her lose to one of the up-and-comers that, they have. Personally, I would love to see Tekla pick up the TBS title. I think that would be great for her. But yeah, we'll see where they go from here. And yeah, after that was the main event. So the thing about cage matches is seeing it, on TV, you have a much better view than I do. Even if you sit in the front row. This time I wasn't in the front row. I was in the 7th row, but I was like the seat right next to the ramp. So I had a really good view of the entrances, and I had a good view of the ring too. But with cage matches, it's a little tricky. And yeah, so Samoa Joe was, getting beat up pretty good. He got his shots in there too, but it seemed like Adam was gonna run away with it and defend his title, which I think a lot of people assumed just because he just got the title back somewhat recently. So, and it was a great match too. It was a great story. So, I don't think a lot of people expected Samoa Joe to win. And yeah, he did. He ended up winning with the help of Hook. Well, the Ops as well. But so the Ops came out. They helped out. But it was Hook basically who ended up, I guess, winning the match for Samoa Joe. Handing the title or using the title in order to hit Adam and help Joe pick up the victory. And yeah, so it was basically Hook that hit Adam with the title, and he that led to Samoa Joe, picking up the victory, and a lot of people were shocked in the arena. I was too, and I kind of as soon as that happened, I knew someone was gonna come back, just because it would make sense. Otherwise, I just didn't see a reason for Joe to pick up the victory here. But yeah, that's exactly what happened. So after the match, the lights go off. Okay, a lot of people are thinking like, oh, who's gonna come out? At first, I was thinking maybe MJF. He's been out for a while. He has some history with Samoa Joe. And then I thought maybe Jay White, but then I was like, nah, if he didn't come back I think his time to come back would have been during the gauntlet match. And then, after a couple seconds, Prince Nana comes out, and then, okay, Swerve, it's Swerve. So he comes out with a new theme. And honestly, I'm such a big fan of his previous theme, but his new theme is not bad. It's grown on me quite a bit. But yeah, so that's what they're doing now. Well, after Samoa Joe defends his title against Eddie Kingston. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if Swerve will win the title off of Joe. I don't know. We'll see. Because I'm assuming with the ops, I'm assuming they're gonna go with that for a while, and I think they're gonna have Hangman and Swerve team up for a bit, go after the ops, which is kind of interesting to see because Swerve and Adam had such a heated feud. With, I think it was Adam Page that burnt down Swerve's house and stuff like that. But I guess if they have a common enemy, they'll team up and go after the title. As long as the title is not around Joe's waist, I think Adam and Swerve will be fine with that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and happy holidays to all of you, and thank you.